Hi friends, Aitherea here, and today I'm going to be talking about PlayerScope, which is a third-party tool, a mod, a plugin, whatever you want to refer to it as. I originally wasn't going to talk about this because a lot of people already have. There's a lot of content creators that have went over it, but I decided that I do in fact want to make a video about this because I think this is a really creepy, just disgusting kind of plugin, and I really hope that by speaking about this, like the more people that talk about it, hopefully the more likely that SE is going to do something about it. So I want to add my, I guess, name and my video to the pile of content being made about this in the hopes that something will change. And I really hope that SE does something about it. But let me talk about what this is in case you don't know, in case you're out of the loop. So like I said, it is a plugin, it is a third-party tool. And the goal of this tool, or I should say the features of this tool, is that it essentially allows you to track a boatload of character data that up until this point was private. So the biggest issues with it are probably that it allows you to find out who someone's alts are. So like if you were to use this tool and look at someone's character, it would then show you who all of their alts are. It also gives you these information that are called content ID and account ID, and it also gives you the lodestone profile ID. Now, Square Enix, as of Dawntrail, made a lot of changes both to the lodestone and to the blacklist in game in order to help give people tools to deal with harassment and to hopefully provide them with more privacy. For example, you can actually private your entire lodestone account if you want to. So even if someone were to have that lodestone tag, your little lodestone ID, the number, they wouldn't be able to find it because you would have it privated. And I've always felt like the lodestone ID is kind of creepy because let's say that you are in sort of a bad situation. Maybe somebody is stalking you and harassing you in game, and you decide that you want to change your name. You want to change your character's name and maybe even server hop and just try to get away from them. Before, especially because the lodestone could not be privated, you would just have like someone creepy. They could just save that number if they wanted to, and then they could type that into the search bar. They could find you. Right? Like they could just save the link to your lodestone and they could find you and they could find your new name. And yeah, you couldn't really escape them before. But now being able to make the lodestone private gives you more options to escape these people that may be harassing or otherwise bothering you. I don't know how this tool will affect that, but based on the fact that they can basically find your content ID, your account ID, like I'm pretty sure that if you did try to change your name or something, this person, like if they have this information before you change your name, the content ID, the account ID and all this, it's going to be pretty easy no matter what you do. Like even if you try to private your lodestone and all this stuff, it's going to be pretty easy for them to just be able to know who you are and keep stalking you or harassing you. Another issue with this is, like I was saying, these account IDs, these content IDs, they allow people to see all of your alts. So let's say that you want to have a alt that is private, that for whatever reason, you have a private alt. And I think myself could be a really good example. I don't really have any alts that I play regularly, but it is a little awkward being a content creator. I'm very grateful to those of you who are very respectful. You say hello to me, you compliment my videos and you go on your merry way, and I really, really appreciate that, I'm not getting harassed. But because I put myself out there online and on YouTube, it's definitely more likely for someone like me to attract stalkers, to attract people that want to harm me, or even just people who maybe don't want to harm me, but just who don't understand that, like, I'm a normal person too, and I value my privacy, and I have things that I want to do in game, and as much as I appreciate, everybody watching my videos and wanting to say hi and whatnot, sometimes I don't want to have like a full-on conversation. I've got things to do, and I'm not trying to be rude, but it's also like I said, I've got maybe things that I want to accomplish in game, or maybe I need to step away and whatnot. And it's always this worry for me sometimes that if I don't entertain people, that they're going to like damage my reputation or think I'm like a horrible person or things like that. So it's very, very awkward. So for someone like me, luckily, like I'm not like famous or anything, right? So I only get here and there someone saying, hey, I watch your videos. They're great. Thank you so much. Like, that kind of thing. That only happens to me here or there. And so far it's been really fantastic. Like I said, everyone's been really respectful and kind and whatnot. But there could come a time where it's like, I want to have a private alt that no one knows about so that I can just play. I want to be treated like a normal person. Like if I go in a roulette or a raid, or I got recognized in like a chaotic raid before. And it's like one of those things where it's like, I just want to play the game like everybody else. I don't want to have like extra expectations or judgments on me because I happen to make YouTube videos. You know what I mean? So there may come a time where it's like, yeah, I might make an alt that I don't want people to know about. And now with a plugin like this, that's not an option for me because anybody that wants to creep on me could. And I don't think the majority of people that watch my videos would go and do this, but there are always creeps out there. That's just what it comes down to, is that there's always people out there that are weird and creepy and have nefarious intentions who would use this. And that's the thing, is like, what would you use a plugin like this for outside of stalking? I do not know. One of my friends told me, and I could not find a source for this, but he told me that apparently the guy who made this mainly made it because they wanted to find out who people's retainers were so they could find out who was undercutting them. And the thing with that is that's still kind of a nefarious intention. The very reason that Final Fantasy XIV and Square Enix made the system so that you can't tell who people's retainers are so that you can't harass people for market shenanigans. Undercutting is just part of the game, okay? We all find it annoying, but we all also do it. At least I will argue that I don't really undercut. I'm not going to just put it down by one guild. I don't care that much. I'm not really someone that plays the market, but you get my point. It's like, everyone just puts stuff on the market board and it's very common. It's just, to me, it's not that big of a deal. So like, what could the intention have possibly been behind this tool? Because even if it wasn't like, oh, I want to stalk people, which again, why do you need all, like, it's just like, why do you need all this information if you're not trying to stalk people? It's really, really weird. But even if it was just a market board thing, why then are we getting all of this other information, not just here's connecting someone to their retainers? Like, I don't know, and I don't necessarily feel like I have an explanation. And I have to agree with what some other content creators have said, which that this is just creepy. This is just creepy, and there is not any like thing that I can think of that this would be good for. So that is essentially the situation. And I know there's some people that are like, oh, people can't stalk you online, this or that. It's just the game, just blacklist them. And that's great if you feel that way, but not everybody does feel that way. Not everyone is comfortable. It's kind of like you blacklist somebody and you still know that they're still following you around, because that can be a thing. Like, just because you blacklist somebody in Final Fantasy XIV doesn't mean they're not still following you around. And some people, even just that thought creeps them out. So then when you have something like this, it's just even creepier. And like I said, I think the biggest thing about it is just like, it's taking away people's privacy. And with the alts thing, like if somebody wants to start over, they want to start fresh, they want to escape somebody, or they just want to have a private alt, because like, even if you're somebody who gets along with all your friends, you haven't had any drama, anything like that, sometimes, especially if you're introverted, you might be like, sometimes I want to play alone and I don't want my friends to know that I'm playing because they're going to want to play with me and I don't want to say no. And like, obviously, if your friends are good friends, then they should understand if you don't feel like playing with them. But there are people like that who it's just like, they would prefer to just have an alt that allows them to play alone. There's so many reasons, and it really doesn't matter what someone's reason is. At the end of the day, people should be allowed to have this kind of basic privacy that should be respected. The other fun thing about this tool is that it is not opt-in. Everybody is just automatically opted in, which is what makes it so creepy. But in case you do want to opt out, lucky you can go to the Discord server that the creator made and I guess opt yourself out via this channel. I've also seen a Google Docs thing, like a Google form that you can fill out to apparently opt out. And here's my thing. Why would I trust someone who would make this tool and release it, a tool that at this point, they've seen all the backlash. They've seen everyone saying this is a tool for stalkers, and they're still, so far as I know, going to go ahead and release it. Why would I trust that person to help me? Why would I trust that person to use whatever information I have to give them in a positive way? Why would I trust that person to protect me when they are the very person creating the tool that puts me and many others at risk? Like, I'm sorry, I just don't trust it. I'm not going to do it. And I guess that unless SE steps in, I'm just going to have to deal with the fact that if someone wants to stalk me, they can do that. Yay, how exciting. Anyways, I don't think I really have much more to say about this other than that I think this is a creepy, very creepy tool that is basically going to just be used by stalkers. It just feels like it enables stalking. I really have no idea what other thing it could do. Some people were bringing up that it helps identify bot accounts, but it's like, why would you even need that anyway? Like, I don't need that. There's no time that I've ever been playing this game where I'm like, I really wish I could figure out if this player was a bot or not. Like, I feel like some of them are very obvious when they're like RMT and things like that. But then other times it's just like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. It doesn't usually affect me, and and there's just not really that big of a bot problem in this game. Like, it's just to me such like a minuscule thing that it's just like, it just doesn't even seem pertinent to me to be like, oh, you can figure out which ones are bots. And I'm like, I don't need to know that. Like, some of them I already can tell they're bots. I don't need a tool to tell me that that's a bot. Obviously it's a bot. Basically, yeah, this just seems really creepy. So that's the situation. That's my thoughts on it. And I'm hoping that, like I said, by putting my voice on top of this, it's just another kind of thing to be like, hey, we don't like this, we don't want this. And here's the thing. The solution to this, in my opinion, is that SE has to step in. Because the reason that this tool is possible is because of the changes that SE made to their blacklist. I mentioned how if you blacklist somebody, they won't be able to just make an alt and DM you. That's where these content ID and account IDs are coming from, is that system. And unfortunately, SE made it too easy for people to get access to these. It's way too easy to exploit, and so it is being exploited. So in my opinion, SE is the only one who can solve this problem, because even if this guy or girl, or I think it's a dude, but whoever's making this, even if they were like, hey, look at all this backlash, nobody wants this tool, maybe like, even if they saw the light and they were like, you know what, this is a bad idea, I made it for whatever reason that, let's give them the benefit of the doubt, wasn't nefarious, let's pretend, but it's going to be used for nefarious things, I'm not going to make it. This is going viral enough, somebody else will make it. Like, someone else will make it. And this might not be the only tool of its kind. You know what I mean? Like, if this person doesn't make it, somebody else will. This will be able to go into people's hands and be used, probably mostly for stalking. So yeah, to me, SE is really the only one that can fix this problem, because even if the person developing PlayerScope decides, you know what, I'm not going to keep developing it, I'm going to take it offline, we're not doing this, it doesn't change anything, because somebody else is just going to make it. So yeah, that is it. That is my thoughts. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments about this tool. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please consider leaving a sacrifice for Lord Algorithm in the form of a like, comment, share, or subscribe. And once again, thank you for watching, and thank you so much to my channel members for supporting me. Bye!